Hello from me and Apple, and welcome to number 14 in a series, a special edition of
Ask the
Excuse me?
Ask the Breeder.
If you've been following my videos the last few days, you know that we've been in rather an uproar with our house. We're almost getting back to normal. The electrical problem we had yesterday was fixed. Turned out to be a problem on the utility pole. Power company came, fixed it. We're good. Of course, we still can't cook because we're not allowed to step on the kitchen floor, but polyurethane is being applied as we speak. So things are going pretty well there. I've gotten a number of suggestions, wonderful ones from my followers about things I could do for a video. I've taken some of the more concise ones that I could answer quickly and put them together for this Ask the Breeder. And there's a special surprise at the end for those of you who subscribe to my channel. So watch for that. First question comes from KJB. KJB wants to know, seems like you don't use collars on your dogs. Why don't you use collars? Well, I lost my demonstration dog. Well, I have demonstration leads here. We don't use collars because Apple, come here. Apple, come. Come on. Come up. I have Apple back here. We don't use collars because we do show our dogs, and we found that if you have a collar on the dog constantly, it kind of ruins this nice line. You want the neck, if you turn sideways, you want the neck to be a very graceful arch coming down and a continuous line down to the top line on the back. And continuous wearing of a collar tends to kind of disrupt the coat in that area and causes it to lose the continuity that we're looking for. So we don't use collars. When we go out with them, we have slip leads. This is a very sturdy rope slip lead. And you see you have a loop here which can be opened up, slipped around the dog's head. There's a little leather stop that comes down here so it can't loosen up and the dog can't be loose, and it provides very good support, very easy to put on and to remove, and no collar necessary. When we take them, see, she doesn't want to sit with me. When we take them to a dog show, we have show leads. Show leads are basically the same concept as a slip lead, but on a much smaller scale. Let me move in to show you. You'll notice that this particular one has a single adjustment, which can be used to bring this down to the size of the dog's neck. It's quite thin, so it doesn't distract from the appearance of the dog in the ring, and this little pad slips under their chin so that if you have to use the lead to provide some correction or support for the dog as it's moving around the ring, it doesn't really hurt their neck at all. The second question comes from Anarita, all the way from Italy. Ciao, Anarita. Anarita noticed that some of her girls will be mounting other female dogs, and she thought that this was just something that male dogs do. Well, actually, mounting, of course, is part of the mating process, but it's also a gesture of dominance, where one dog asserts dominance over the other. And they can do that very easily by pretending to be a male and mount the other one. It becomes especially acute when those girls go into season, because that attraction for the males when the girl is in season actually is felt by the females, and they tend to mount the in-season girl even more. But it's perfectly natural. It's not harmful. If it becomes aggressive, then you may want to take some steps to stop it. But otherwise, it's a natural form of dominance behavior. Leona would like to know what to do about her dogs who She's having trouble with feeding them. She doesn't want to use crates, but one of the dogs is exhibiting some food aggression. So how do we handle food aggression? She said she doesn't like to use crates because the aggressor is also a sloppy eater and it takes a long time to clean the crate. Well, I do believe strongly in feeding dogs in crates. If there is food aggression going on, the more separation you have between dogs, the less aggression you're going to find. So what I would do if there was some food aggression between two dogs in my home, I would put the crates in locations where they can't see each other and feed them both in the crates. And if we have one who is a sloppy eater because he's being aggressive, there are solutions to sloppy eating. This is called a puzzle bowl. Let me give you a close look. The puzzle bowl, you'll see, has these bumps, and when you put the food in the bowl, it fits in between those bumps. And it takes a little while for the dog to figure out how to get around all those little bumps to get every little last lick of food. Puzzle bowls are good for sloppy eaters. They're good for very, very fast eaters. And, you know, eating fast is not really good for the digestive process anyway, and this tends to slow them down. For the fourth question, which comes from Karen, Karen wants to know, based on some things that I said about Sherlock in a previous video, and talked about his pasterns, what's a pastern? You know, it's not like a priest who's in charge of a parish. You know, that's a pastor. That's different. But it's a good question. What is a pastern, and do humans have pasterns? Well, I'm going to enlist Sherlock's help if I can grab him, so hang on a minute. All right, we have Sherlock here. I'm going to put him up on the Bruce box so we can show you. Now, there are front pasterns and rear pasterns, and they do have analogous bones in the human body. They're not exactly the same by any means, but they are analogous. The pastern is the last section of leg before the foot. Now, you'll notice his front foot here is flat on the pads, and there's a little bit of a joint right where my fingers are, and the elbow is up here. So this would be analogous to the forearm that I have here, and there's my wrist, which is analogous to this joint. And so what's below this joint, which goes that way, is analogous to my hand. This is the pastern, and this is the foot. So if I were a dog and I'd have my front paw this way, there's my foot, and there's my pastern. So it's analogous to the upper part of my hand. The rear pasterns play a much larger role in dog movement, and they are larger. This joint here we call the hock, and it's equivalent to the human heel. So if Sherlock were human, this whole portion from the hock down to the ground would be the foot. And so you see it's kind of expanded from what the front has. Whoops, excuse me. This is his knee right here. And so we go down to the hock. This is his foot. And this is his pastern. It's analogous in the human to the rear part of the foot. Let me show you with my shoe. If my shoe were on a dog, there's his paw, and there is his pastern, and this would be the hock. So if humans walked around like dogs, our front paws would be like that, and our rear paws would be like that. I tried walking that way once. It's not easy. The last topic for today's Ask the Breeder is not so much a question, but a suggestion, which I think is a great suggestion from one of our faithful followers, J-Boys, who would like to see the opportunity for some of you, select few, to have your dog judged remotely by someone I know well who happens to judge. Oh, that's me. I judge Cavaliers. Now, this is going to be difficult, and it's by no means going to be accurate, and it will earn you no points in the AKC or any other organization that allows for showing dogs. But if you are a subscriber, oh, and by the way, if you're not, at the end of the video, you'll see a cute little picture of a dog pop up somewhere on the screen. Click on that picture, and it'll allow you to subscribe. But anyway, if you are a subscriber, you could take a couple of pictures of your dog, preferably a nice profile like you just saw Sherlock in on the Bruce box. You don't have to have a Bruce box, it's okay. And a close-up of the head from the front, at least that much, and whatever other views you can give. And email those to me at the email address that's showing up at the bottom of your screen right now. And I'm not going to be able to do everybody by any means, but I'll select one or two of those and pretend that I'm able to actually do a good job judging from pictures. I'm not, but we'll do our best. And I will give you my opinion of what I can see of your Cavalier. So, send those in right away. Thank you everybody for your support. I'm hoping to be able to actually have breakfast in my kitchen tomorrow morning without all the junk around, but we'll see what happens. Take care. Apple, good girl.